My opponent speaking for the pro mentioned the rights that this nation is founded upon, and they're correct in that statement. The United States is one of the greatest bastions of liberty that the world has ever seen. The founders in creating the Constitution cited, taking ideas from John Locke, that Americans are entitled to the inalienable rights to life, liberty, and property. However, another one of John Locke's ideas that the founders took was the idea of a social contract that is the basis of all civil societies. That when forming a government, the people and the rulers, by consent, form a government, that the people agree to submit to the laws of the government, while the government agrees to submit to the outlines of the people. Thus, a system of ordered liberty is created, as opposed to the state of nature which these people exit in creating governments, where they have an unrestrained liberty and may infringe on the liberties of others as they wish. In civil societies, such as the United States, there is a concept that we live in a state of ordered liberty, that we may exercise our liberties enumerated in the Constitution and other bodies of law, as long as they do not impede on the equally important rights of others. Now, the main argument for removing the protesters from Zuccotti Park is that there is a general interest in society to protect citizens from the damages that these protesters are causing. Such restrictions on protest in the First Amendment can be outlined in time, place, and manner restrictions, which have been upheld in the court in the past. In the case Ward v. Rock against racism, the court held that a regulation of time, place, or manner-protected speech must be narrowly tailored to serve the government's legitimate content-neutral interests, but it need not be the least restrictive or least intrusive means of doing so. Now, one of the interests brought up by the New York City government is that, oh, that's not good. But let me just improvise.
This didn't happen 15 years ago.
Wouldn't have happened 15 years ago. Yes, the legitimate interest in limiting First Amendment rights of the protesters is that the city has argued that the presence of electrical wires, wooden pallets, and cigarettes created a safety hazard that could only be remedied by the removal of the entire camp. Also, the threat to businesses and other people visiting the park has been a violation of their individual liberties. During the occupation of Zuccotti Park, countless businesses have experienced vandalism. Not only is it the responsibility of the government to ensure that free speech is protected, but it's also the concern of the government to make sure that people's property is protected. In another case, Clark v. Community Creative Nonviolence, which was decided by the U.S. Supreme Court in 1984, protesters petitioned for the right to sleep overnight on the National Mall in Washington as a way of calling attention to homelessness. The court held in a 7-2 decision that even assuming sleeping was a protected form of speech, the U.S. Park Service's interest in maintaining the space was substantial, and its rules narrow enough to justify preventing the protesters from sleeping there. Thus, in the interest of preserving this ordered liberty, that we may, to the fullest extent, respect the rights of individuals while respecting the rights of others, it is necessary to respect these time, place, and manner restrictions that the court has clearly upheld in the past and will in the present and future. Thank you. I yield my time to questions.
I don't know much about the Occupy Wall Street movement specifically, but there's a lot of information floating around the Bay Area about the Occupy Oakland movement, and a lot of the problems with Occupy Oakland are that there's like vandalism and riot because there's no leader. Do you think that attaining a leader for each city of the movement would defeat the purpose?
I don't believe that attaining a leader would defeat the purpose. I believe that a leader might add a system of organization to these movements that many people not supporting the movements have said is a cause of all the injustice that is occurring.
That'll be time. Thank you very much.